in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go get this son of a bitch.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. Hopefully you've had a chance to see Avengers Endgame, and maybe you've seen it a couple times by now, but these are going to be all about what happens at the end of the film and all the scenes during the movie that tease Marvel Phase 4 movies, some stuff we already know about and some stuff we learned about for the first time after seeing Endgame. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave an Avengers comment on the video. Big reminder too that next week we're going to get a brand new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. Supposedly there's going to be a special spoiler warning for the events of Avengers Endgame at the beginning of that, because based on what the Russos and everyone's saying, apparently there's going to be some really big universe-changing stuff happening during that. There are 13 different scenes and teasers on my list here during the movie. There are probably more than that, but I tried to do the ones that we know have been confirmed for Marvel Phase 4 projects. These also just go from beginning to end of the movie. So starting at the beginning, number 13, Hawkeye training his daughter, Lila Barton, in archery, calling her Hawkeye. Good job, Hawkeye. They high-five each other. We know that they're developing a Hawkeye series for the Disney Plus streaming service. Whether or not they do the Kate Bishop character or they actually do his daughter as his successor, there's going to be someone that he trains to take up the mantle of Hawkeye. If you haven't read the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run, they're probably going to use that as the basis for whatever the plot is, but obviously they'll have to change a couple things because this Hawkeye is married, he has a family. Hawkeye in the comics did not, so it was a very different plot. So just imagine a couple minor changes to account for those things. Number 12, a little bit later in the film, Black Widow asks Okoye about a very big underwater earthquake off the coast of Africa, around the place where that Iron Man 2 Namor Easter egg map location was.
I don't think I want you looking at that. I'm not sure it pertains to you anymore. Now this, on the other hand, is Agent Romanoff's assessment of you.
If you don't remember, at the end of Iron Man 2, during the mid-credits scene, there was a scene teasing the Avengers Initiative because it was before the Avengers movie had happened, where Iron Man is reading Nick Fury's evaluation of him, textbook narcissism. Funny moment, but in the background there's a map with a couple locations. One was teasing Wakanda because we hadn't gotten Black Panther yet. The other was right near it off the coast, which was teasing Atlantis and Namor. Kevin Feige has said in the past that they're trying to figure out where and when they would do a Namor character in the MCU, but it is on their minds. They do have problems with the rights to do a Namor solo film, but it's actually pretty easy to put him in someone else's film, so maybe he winds up being a villain in Black Panther 2 or some other MCU movie. Number 11, Ant-Man meets his teenage daughter, Cassie Lang, who's obviously still a teenager at the end of the movie in 2023. During the last Ant-Man and the Wasp film, a younger version of Cassie says that I want to grow up to be just like my dad, a superhero.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to help people, like my dad.
Really?
I wanted to be his partner, but he said he wants you.
Very clearly teasing that at some point they would pay off Cassie Lang's stature from the Young Avengers comics, so maybe they do that during the Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel. Also, back up, there are a couple Young Avengers teasers during the movie. Cassie Lang's stature is just one of those. Number 10, Captain Marvel says during the film she has some friends, quote-unquote, that might know where Thanos is hiding out early in the film. Then for the duration of that 5-year time jump, she's in Kree-Skrull space just continuing to police that part of the universe. Even though Kevin Feige has said that they plan on making Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, a character in present day, that present day means after the events of Avengers Endgame. And there's still too much untouched history between the mid-90s of the Captain Marvel movie and the snap during 2018. So I don't think they're just going to wave their hand past all that untouched history. When Captain America says, we get it that space is more your territory, it also kind of implies they intend on keeping most of Captain Marvel's solo films based around characters from other planets, like the Skrulls. They can also introduce any other big space-based characters they want to during her movies, in addition to the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which as of right now are the only real space franchises that they have in the MCU. Number 9, obviously more Skrulls. Kevin Feige also revealed recently that there are definitely evil Skrulls in the MCU who would perpetrate a secret invasion plot, which is just his way of saying that even though the Skrulls of the Captain Marvel movie were good, and we didn't go for secret invasion this time, we're definitely going to use that story for a future movie. But that is so big that that is an Avengers level story, so just think Avengers Secret Invasion sometime in the future. That's also another easy way to bring back dead characters like Black Widow, Iron Man, older characters like Captain America, looking young again, if they don't want to save those twists for Secret Wars. Number 8, The Ancient One tells Bruce Banner about changing the past and creating alternate timelines. There are several instances where they change the past but do not go back and fix it. Those alternate timelines they created are now alternate realities where events play out differently in the last couple of years. Characters that are dead in Endgame might still be alive in those realities. Loki with the Tesseract is a really good example of that. Multiple realities is also the backdoor teaser to Avengers Secret Wars. But before they can do something like that, there are several threat levels in between, like Avengers vs. the Celestials, Avengers vs. Galactus. Then after those bigger cosmic threats, then you can do things like the Beyonders, where you collapse multiple realities into each other and do your Battle World Secret Wars storyline. So give them a hot minute to work up to Avengers Secret Wars, like Avengers 7. But also Loki with the Tesseract. Remember, they confirmed that there's going to be a Loki series during Marvel Phase 4. They could use Loki with the Tesseract in the alternate reality as the basis for that series. 7, now that time travel is a pretty common thing in the MCU, that's the backdoor to Kang the Conqueror, probably the most infamous of time-traveling Marvel villains. They can use him anywhere they want in any big Avengers movie, but he was a pretty notable Young Avengers villain for Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang Stature, two of the characters that they teased during Avengers Endgame, so no point in burning him on some other lesser film. I feel like he would be great in a Young Avengers film if they want to continue to use time travel as a story device. 6, Black Widow and Hawkeye reference Budapest again on their way to Vormir, making this the 4th or 5th time that they joked about what happened in Budapest. If they don't at least do something with that during the Black Widow prequel movie, I will be pissed. Because it just seems like a really easy slam dunk reference to pay off, even if Budapest isn't a major part of the plot of that film. 5, when Captain America goes back in time to live with Peggy Carter, the Russos confirm my alternate reality timeline theory, but they also said that the things that they do together in the past in that timeline might be covered in a new story. Kevin Feige and Marvel have already confirmed that one of the Disney Plus streaming shows is going to be a What If series covering what if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum and what if Steve Rogers had worn an Iron Man suit built by Howard Stark. But the important thing to note is that's just one episode of the What If series, so I don't know if they're going to do multiple appearances from those characters during that or if it'll be like a one-off with Chris Evans, but just to be clear, they're not talking about them doing a movie with those characters. 4, speaking of Captain America, Falcon becomes Captain America kind of at the end of the film with the shield. Obviously, they're going to cover that during an Avengers sequel, but they have not confirmed what the time period of the Falcon Winter Soldier Avengers spin-off series is going to cover, only that it would follow their adventures when they're not hanging out with the other Avengers characters. If they set the Falcon Winter Soldier TV series after the events of Endgame, then they can sort of follow up on what Falcon does the minute after he gets the shield. Like, how does he handle this? Does he start designing a new suit? I'm not expecting them to cover that too much because Falcon as Captain America feels like a really big twist that they would just roll out in whatever the next Avengers movie is. 3, even though they do have an A-Force moment during that big final battle against Thanos with Captain Marvel and the other female characters of the MCU, I don't think that they have huge plans for an A-Force franchise. But I do think that it's always possible to do a Thor Ragnarok style team-up spin-off with Captain Marvel and a couple of the other bigger female MCU characters. Civil War is also a really good analogy for that too, but you had a lot of Avengers in it, so it's almost like a mini Avengers film. I don't know if they would do something that big with a Captain Marvel sequel, but Kevin Feige did tease that they would continue to do team-up movies like that in the future, especially with sequel films. That's why we have As Guardians of the Galaxy coming up, which is also on my list here. So 2, Thor joins the Guardians of the Galaxy formally at the end of the movie for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as Guardians of the Galaxy, which we already know will cover the emergence of Adam Warlock as an MCU character. He was a villain when he debuted in the comics. The Sovereign are villains at the end of Guardians 2 when they're creating him. So it sounds like they'll be fighting Adam Warlock at the beginning of the film, but maybe he'll have a parallel arc for the younger Gamora where she's kind of a villain in the film, but kind of good, and they try to win her over. So early speculation, Adam Warlock's storyline follows his comic book storyline where he becomes more of a hero later in the story, and if they do more Guardians films, maybe Adam Warlock will eventually join the team. Yes, there was that moment earlier in the film when, say, like a 4-year-old Morgan Stark crawls out of her tent wearing Pepper Potts' rescue helmet, saying that she likes to go into the garage just like Daddy, saying that, she has an inclination for technology the way that he does, even though she's only 4 years old. They might choose to make her a successor of Iron Man in a vastly future timeline, but she's only 4 years old now, so there'd have to be some crazy time jump. They would have to really get into some crazy time travel during a Young Avengers movie to pull that off in the next 4 or 5 years. So yes, they're kind of teasing something, but don't hold your breath on someone else picking up the mantle of Iron Man anytime soon. But number one, most obvious setup at the end of the film is them setting up the beginning of Spider-Man Far From Home, starting 5 years later in 2023, with Peter meeting Ned again post-snap. And it seems like based on the other trailers that we've gotten, the rest of the debate team also got snapped because it seems like they're all really close to the exact same age as they were at the beginning of Infinity War after the events of Spider-Man Homecoming.
He's like Iron Man and Thor rolled into one.
He's no Spider-Man.
What is it with you and Spider-Man?
What, he looks out for the neighborhood, has a dope suit, and I really respect him. Sup, dickwad?
The deal with the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is actually pretty interesting because the Russos recently said that the spoiler ban on Avengers Endgame should be up on Monday because it seems like tickets for Spider-Man Far From Home go on sale Monday and they're getting ready to drop another trailer. There's been a report that there will be a special spoiler warning attached to the beginning of that trailer, not just out of common courtesy, but apparently there's going to be some really big stuff going on. I've seen a lot of speculation about multiverse being teased during Spider-Man Far From Home. I don't know if that's true. You don't necessarily need that to do Mysterio or set up Sinister Six or any of the other Easter eggs that we've already seen in the trailers that we've gotten. But we'll find out about that in the next couple of days. Obviously, Game of Thrones is happening this weekend, and that's usually what I do Sunday and Mondays. So if there is a Spider-Man Far From Home trailer on Monday, then I'll just double up. No worries. I'll do videos for all the real big stuff if you have any big requests too. Just to be clear though, during Avengers Endgame, there were no clear teasers or setup for X-Men characters, Fantastic Four characters, and they didn't even really tease that much about Doctor Strange because we know there's going to be a Doctor Strange sequel during Marvel Phase 4. What'll happen with my Avengers Endgame videos in the next couple of weeks is we'll start to learn about deleted scenes that they cut out of the film, so I'll do videos for those. Obviously later this summer, they're going to drop the Blu-ray, there'll be all kinds of bonus content, more deleted scenes and alternate things about the movie that we didn't know, so I'll do videos for that stuff too when it comes. It'll be just like the videos that I did for Avengers Infinity War last summer. So we'll say congratulations to Tug Speedman. You're the giveaway winner for my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Click here for both my Avengers Endgame Easter egg videos, and click here for my Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 4 trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.